Hi, so this is day 57 of my weight loss journey, during which I managed to reverse my prediabetes, decrease my joint pain, and make my life better overall. I was already working on my other health issues. When I turned 50, I had high cholesterol, it was 289. That's pretty high. I've heard of people having it higher, but that's high. High blood pressure despite medication. And when I say medication, I'm talking some hardcore medication. I take 4 different blood pressure medicines 4 times a day at different times. And my blood pressure was still 150 over 100, like consistently. And I kept telling my doctor I'd work on it. He told me to work on the salt because he said, you know what, you're on some pretty high doses. And if I increase the dose, you're not going to feel that well because it does slow you down. I didn't want to do that. And he said we might try new medication, but medications seem to bother me. It takes me a while to adjust. So I just took more seriously. I started going to the gym and I didn't lose any weight, even going for a year. And my cholesterol didn't come down. That was frustrating. So I had to try some cholesterol medication, and I'm allergic to the statins like Lipitor. So my doctors really didn't know what to do with me. And so one of them, my cardiologist, tried some Zetia. And the other two were a little skeptical because they say Zetia really isn't that strong, especially for someone whose cholesterol is 289. But it brought it down to 205. And I think that was the gym. And of course, I was trying to eat better. I've been trying to lose weight for 20 years, and that is a sad comment on my efforts. They weren't that effective. They weren't that well. They didn't work that well. I mean, it's embarrassing. And I had to face that because my daughter's also overweight. And a couple of years ago, and the timing was just perfect, I took her to the doctor, and it was an endocrinologist because her primary physician suggested that because of her weight. And of course, there's guilt involved in that because I'm overweight, even though I tried to always feed her well. I mean, I made my own baby food and I always gave her healthy foods, fruits and vegetables. I tried to keep my junk food eating private from her. Of course, I couldn't always succeed, but I have to take some guilt for that. Where did I go wrong? I never wanted her to suffer as I do, because it's not easy to be overweight, especially 100 pounds. I mean, people judge you. I've talked in many other videos about fat shaming, and my family's a good one for that. They consider it helpful, but it's not helpful to make someone feel humiliated because they take a bite of something. So that's caused me a lot of pain over my lifetime. The way my family members look at me in disgust. They think that they're helping me to say, well, you know, what's going on here? Because this is how other people look at you and you need to face it. I've had some of them say, if I don't tell you, who will? As if I don't know. I just that's mind boggling. How can you not know you're overweight when you bathe yourself and look at yourself and buy clothes for yourself? So people say in my family, if I don't tell you, who will? I'm telling you because I love you. You have to realize how you look. It doesn't feel like love. It feels like humiliation and shame. And that's what it is. And I have been stronger about talking about it. And I think that some people just don't get it. And ironically, some of the people saying these comments are overweight and some aren't. I think the ones that aren't overweight just don't get it. And I think the ones that are overweight are just projecting. That's It's classic. What you can't solve in yourself or you don't want to face in yourself, you try to face in other people. So if you have a weight problem and you're not willing to do the hard work to solve it, you full of advice for other people how to solve their problem. Not very helpful, but I think they can't help it. I think they mean well. I really think they do. I think maybe in their minds are thinking, well, I'm not strong enough to do it, but maybe you are. Hopefully you are. And I want to encourage you if you are. But it comes across as fat shaming. I mean, anybody should be able, any adult, okay, I'm not talking about children, I'm talking about adults, should be able to eat whatever they want without judgment and without being shamed and without being criticized. Because we all have to take responsibility for what we do for our health. Because we're the ones that feel the pain of being overweight. We're the ones that deal with it. We're the ones that deal with the high cholesterol, the high blood pressure. We have to be ready to face where we are in our health and our life, our lifestyle, and make those changes. Nobody else can make it for us. And as I proceed on this journey, I see how a lot of the problems in being overweight are psychological. I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but the reason why I think that is because yes, I have some extra challenges because of my age. Weight doesn't fall off as easily as it used to at 52. My hormonal situation, I'm kind of at that age where my body is winding down as far as my reproductive health. That causes weight gain and hinders weight loss. Then there's my unique hormonal issues. I do have low thyroid. I have some adrenal gland issues I take medication for, and that all adds up to some stubborn weight loss. But do I have the, what is the word? The maturity and the mental strength to do what it takes to rise to those challenges and lose weight anyway? Maybe I will have to only eat spinach to lose weight and kind of correct, balance things out. Do I have the mental stamina, maturity to understand that and do it? Or am I going to be immature to have this is not fair kind of attitude? Other people get to eat all this yummy stuff while they're dieting and lose weight. It's not fair. Am I going to get stuck in that? Everybody has gifts and challenges. Everybody. Everyone is different. I've talked in other videos about the serious car accident that I was in that I'm still getting surgeries for 30 years later. That's how much damage it caused. Am I going to sit and feel sorry for myself? Why do other people actually have the opposite view? It could have been so much worse. I could have been burned. I could have been cut up. I could have been so brain damaged that I wouldn't be myself anymore. I could have had, when I broke the vertebrae in my back, my spinal cord could have been severed. That's how you have to look at life. You can't say, poor me, I've got all these challenges. You've got to rise to the challenges in your life, and that is much easier said than done. And I think the key to that is your psychological health. To get to that point where you're not in the it's not fair, why me pit. You can rise out of that and say, whatever it takes, I'm going to take back my health and straighten some of this stuff out, because I don't think when I am at an ideal weight that I'm going to have those issues and my hormones will be a lot more balanced. I have been reading lately that fat cells make their own hormones, and I believe that. I do. I mean, experts are saying that's true, and it keeps you overweight. So when I no longer have these excess fat cells and my hormones are in much better balance, I don't think I'll have a struggle. I don't think I'll have to just eat spinach leaves to stay an ideal weight. will I ever get to the point that I could eat whatever I want like some people? No, I don't believe that. Because that's how I got overweight in the first place. I was very active when I was younger, and I put on weight eating whatever I wanted to. So if that's going to happen when I'm younger, of course it's going to happen when I'm older. That's just common sense. So I think that that is part of my journey to just realize that this is a lifestyle choice. It's not a diet that I go on and go off. This is something that I have to do for the rest of my life. And I may have to have a much more stringent eating program to lose this weight. And maybe once I've lost the weight, I can have the gluten and sugar-free carbs once in a while. But I'm going to have to monitor my weight very carefully because my body chemistry is such that I'm sensitive to carbs. And some people just are. So I've shared the last few days my challenges with my faucet breaking. And I'm so proud of myself because I changed it, even with my hurt shoulder, because I got one good arm. That's pretty strong from going to the gym. So I was able to do it with my daughter's help. Anything that took two hands, she did. So we made a good team and I got it done. And the last thing I have to do is the caulking. So because it's the first time I did it and I didn't really know what I was doing that well, I didn't have a lot of confidence. It's taken me a few days because I keep like looking at it and like, oh, maybe this, and watching some videos, and I go to the hardware store. For instance, I noticed that I kind of twisted the water lines when I screwed them on. So I had to unscrew them and screw them back on and things like that. So the last step is caulking. I'm going to do it as soon as I get done with this video. I'm going to go caulk. And I've been watching YouTube videos on how to caulk. So I'm not going to have a sink for 36 hours. So that's going to be a while. So I'm going to be eating very simply and eating out occasionally, like at least one meal a day, as I have been. But I've been doing it sugar and gluten free, and I'm trying to keep it as healthy as I can. So let me go over what I ate today. So you remember I went to that restaurant yesterday. I went to the taco place and I went to another kind of general, kind of Denny's type of place. It wasn't Denny's though. I got that salad and then I got that taco dinner, and I said only half of it the other day, so I ate the other half for breakfast today and the rest of that salad with blue cheese dressing. It's a lot of food, but I was hungry. I ate that for breakfast first thing in the morning because I was kind of hungry and I had a lot of work that I had to do. I was so tired yesterday that I didn't eat that much. So I think that's why I was hungry today. So I'm still recovering from surgery. I've had 3 surgeries in 5 months, and I don't think I ever really got my strength and stamina back between them. So I get tired really easily. So after I had that for lunch, for breakfast actually, then I wanted to have some dessert. So I had one of those Lara bars and some skim milk. And the Lara bars don't have any sugar. It's just dates and cashews and peanuts and some cocoa powder. Um, it's pretty good to not have any sugar. It's a little carby. It's a lot of dates. So I can't have two. I had two once and it made me quite sick. Even though it had no sugar in it, I had a sugar reaction. My ankle swelled and I felt tired. So I can only have one. And then after that, I just wasn't that hungry. That was a lot of food. I mean, I'm starting to see that. See, that's why I think it's good to have a journey that you're recording what you're doing. And I'm doing it to help others also. But I found that if I eat like a big meal for breakfast, I'm really not that hungry the rest of the day. So this is what I had for lunch. Had one of those chocolate stevia nut squares I made and some skim milk. And that's all I wanted for lunch. And then for dinner, all I had were 3 cuties, those little clementine oranges, mandarin oranges, and some water. And I was good. I wasn't really hungry after that. So that's pretty good. I think I'm going to try that again today. I don't know about breakfast. I usually have almonds, something simple for breakfast. But having my main meal the day at lunch works pretty good because I'm not hungry for the third meal that much. It's very light. And I've always read you should eat really light later in the day when you're kind of sitting around. So that's how my day went. I hope that your day went well, and I hope tomorrow to eat a little healthier. Let's get better every day. Progress, not perfection. Okay, so I hope these are helping someone. Bye bye.